This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
The following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Well, here we are again to another lovely Friday as you and I are hanging out first thing in the morning Eastern Standard Time. Anyway, today's June the 18th of 2021, day 169th of the year, and only 196 days left to go. How are you doing this fantastic morning as you and I get to hang and do the things that we do? Did you get in and get your stuff done throughout the week and you've been kind of looking at going into Friday? I'm not saying cruising into Friday. A lot of people might say, oh yeah, it's the cruise of the Friday-ish type of stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, did you get everything accomplished this week that you possibly could to get that moving forward and so on? That's, of course, the big question. Good morning, Mr. Posel. How are you? Hopefully everything's good and grand inside of your neck of the world over there. But anyways, before I forget, we are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, across the multiverse of Safety FM, and just in case, and we're doing some things with our friends over there, our friends and colleagues at that sister station of ours, you know, that place.
Radio.
So there you go, Radio Big. It is Freeform Friday, just in case you forgot. This is the 18th version, or the June the 18th version of this bad boy. So as we would do any typical Freeform Friday, this is whatever the hell you want to do. Pop into the text box if you want to do so. We'll stop what we're doing. We'll have open phone lines, I believe, because that's what we're going to do today. I think we will. If you want to shoot over a text version, we just want us to call you, we can do that too. That's perfectly fine. Text line is 866-930-SFM1. That's 866-930-SFM1. If you text your phone number, we're not going to post it online. But if you do call in, we'll try to get it, depending if we're not in the middle of something, to get back directly to you or even bust you in right here on the line, which is always kind of fun stuff in regards of doing that. Anyways, 866-930-SFM1. Let's start talking about what is trending right away, because it is Friday, so we always want to get everybody ready if you're sitting at home doing your video on demand service stuff. So let's talk about what is there. New to Disney Plus this weekend is Luca with Premiere Access. I don't even know what the hell Luca is, and I normally know what half of these movies are. New to HBO Max is Super Friends and Fatale. So there you go. New to Hulu will be The Guilt Trip. Oh, that seems like every weekend. And then new to Netflix, A Family and Fatherhood, which, of course, remember that fatherhood thing for this weekend, because it is, just in case you forgot, it is Father's Day this weekend. So if you have not gotten the old man a gift or something, or at least a card or some kind of letter saying how much you appreciate them making the fantastic person that you are today, please do so. Might be important. Don't want to get anybody caught with their pants down, if you know what I'm saying there. So there you go. Some stuff going on always for sure as we are talking here. So let me not drag on too much here at the very beginning of this, and let's get you started into some feature story news, and then we'll come directly back and talk about this. Oh, and by the way, yes, very chill music this morning. I do agree. Thank you for making the fantastic reference.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Voting is underway in Iran to decide who will succeed Hassan Rouhani as president. Mr. Rouhani has been in power since 2013 but has come to the end of his 2 terms in office. Of the almost 600 people who applied to run for president, just 7 were approved by the Guardian Council. That's the body of legal experts appointed by Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. 5 of the 7 are considered hardline conservatives. Opinion polls suggest Ibrahim Raisi, a Shia cleric who heads the judiciary, is the clear favourite. The UK's fourth largest party, the Liberal Democrats, have pulled off a stunning by-election victory, winning a constituency that's always voted Conservative. Lib Dem leader Ed Davey says the result in the seat of Chesham and Amersham just outside London has sent shockwaves through British politics. Peter Fleet, the candidate for the Conservative Party, described the loss as very disappointing.
It's an absolutely extraordinary result, which must take into account the fact that the Liberal Democrat Party didn't just throw the kitchen sink at this constituency. I think it was the microwave, the table, the oven, the dishwasher, the dog, the cat and anything else.
The Conservatives, the governing party in the UK, still have a healthy majority in Parliament. The Japanese government is easing COVID-19 related restrictions after nearly 2 months of a state of emergency amid falling infection rates. The move will open the door to more spectators at the Tokyo Olympic and Paralympic Games to begin in late July. Our correspondent John Matthews is in the Japanese capital.
In an official announcement, Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga says the state of emergency will be lifted for Tokyo and 8 other prefectures as of Sunday. Nearly all of these will move into a less restrictive quasi-emergency phase, where bars and restaurants will now be allowed to serve alcohol, but only until 7 p.m., and only if they maintain COVID-19 precautions, and only if their local government doesn't opt to keep the alcohol ban. Dining establishments will still be asked to close by 8 p.m. These restrictions come hand in hand with a new push to increase the maximum number of spectators per Olympic venue to 10,000 or 50% of capacity, whichever is lower. Healthcare experts have called for tighter restrictions on spectators, saying the Games could easily become a super spreader event and overwhelm an already strained infrastructure.
And international travellers are being welcomed back to Germany, with the government announcing relaxed entry rules for those who've received their COVID-19 vaccines. From Berlin, Trent Murray reports.
The Interior Ministry announced that from the 25th of June, fully vaccinated travellers from outside the European Union would be welcome again in Germany, providing they were fully vaccinated. It means that vaccinated tourists can skip previous quarantine measures that were in place, unless they come from a handful of countries designated as areas of variant concern, which include South Africa, Brazil and India. For those not yet fully vaccinated, travel is still an option, providing travellers can give a negative coronavirus test before boarding their outbound flight for Germany.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Joe Biden has put the first international trip of his presidency behind him and wrapped up a week in Europe with Wednesday's Geneva summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The US leader says it was a productive meeting and that time will prove whether the Russian leader is ready to abandon some of his more controversial rogue behavior on the world stage. President Biden says he wants a stable, predictable relationship with Russia. But is that even possible?
I don't think what this administration needs and what Mr. Putin needs are compatible.
Aaron David Miller is a State Department veteran who advised 6 secretaries of state and is now a senior fellow at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace.
This is a president that's challenged with the greatest task of national recovery of any president since Franklin Roosevelt. He wants to find a certain amount of stability and predictability, literally to create a Russian relationship, U.S. relationship that's functional, and that he doesn't have to worry about it. The problem is Mr. Putin's relevance and his raison d'etre is not stability or predictability. It's instability and unpredictability. That's in large part how a fading former great power gets attention.
The two leaders did agree to restore ambassadors in each other's countries and form a new dialogue on arms control that the White House says means at least some progress was made this week. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
A reminder again of our top stories. Voting is underway in Iran to decide who will succeed Hassan Rouhani as president. The UK's fourth largest party, the Liberal Democrats, have pulled off a stunning by-election victory, winning a constituency that's always voted Conservative. And the Japanese government is easing COVID-19 related restrictions after nearly 2 months of a state of emergency. That's the latest feature story news. I'm Benji Haya in London.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
We all want to make sure that our family is protected in medical emergencies. What many of us don't realize is that health insurance won't always cover the full amount of an emergency medical flight. Even with comprehensive coverage, you could get hit with high deductibles and copays. That's why an Air Medcare Network membership is so important. As a member, If an emergency arises, you won't see a bill for air medical transport when flown by an AMCN provider. Best of all, a membership covers your entire household for as little as $85 a year. AMCN providers are called upon to transport nearly 100,000 patients a year. This is coverage no family should go without. Now, as a Jay Allen Show listener, you'll get up to a $50 e-gift card with a new membership. Simply visit airmedcarenetwork.com/safety and use the offer code SAFETY. And don't forget to tell them that Jay Allen sent you.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open. Don't speak with your mouth full. Keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day, making sure they brush their teeth, is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
With streams so crisp that you can feel the sarcasm in your ear holes. Radio Big.
Okay, so there you go. A lot of news and information going on first thing in this lovely morning. It is 12 minutes past the top of the hour, so there you go. Let's continue talking about some other things. Remember, today we do whatever the hell you want to talk about. So if you got a question, got a comment, got a concern, we'll go ahead and go into that lingo and all that kind of fun stuff. Praying that the box is working fantastically today. Also, text messaging available at 866-930-SFM1. That's 866-930-SFM1. And we could even turn around and call you back. You never know on how this gimmick will work. Anyway, so let's talk about what is going on inside of the world of the news. So here we go, taking it from a top. A 3-week-old baby girl was found floating in a wooden box in the Ganges River in India. The baby was heard crying by a boater who pulled the box out of the river. When he opened it, he was said that the baby was wrapped in a red scarf decorated with images of Hindu deities. The box also contained a horoscope card which informed her birth date and indicated her name, which was Hindu Ganj. The child's welfare officials collected the child, brought her into the hospital where she will be monitored before she's going to a shelter. The boater will be rewarded with the government benefits, including a house, for showing the matchless example of humanity. And an Associated Press said. Worth noting, according to the BBC, the baby girls are also seen as financial burden in the country, particularly into poor communities, which may be the motive behind the act. Wow, isn't that interesting? Interesting, as you do take a listen to this. I will tell you, sometimes we come up with some news stories here that I'm kind of shocked that we're talking about on this show. But think about that whole aspect there in that particular regards on how that ends up working, that they are considered a financial burden, and this was the reason behind it, potentially. Kind of sounds kind of odd. Anyways, let's continue talking. More than 350 healthcare workers in Indonesia have become infected with COVID-19 and dozens hospitalized despite the vaccinated with the China Sinovac shot. Central Java is battling the outbreak believed to be driven by the highly contagious Delta variant. According to the WHO, the Sinovac vaccine prevents systematic disease in 51% of its people. It is unknown how effective it is against the variant. So there you go. So we talked about this a while ago. We talked about how the variants would come about similar to the flu and cold season and all that other fun stuff that we talk about. But now we're starting to take a look at some variants known as Delta that are coming about. So what do you think here? And so now it becomes this whole thing, once again, of the vaccination as the emergency or the actual release by the FDA and all that other fun stuff. And you start taking a look now, and then you have to start asking the question, which ones will work and which ones won't? And because it was emergency release and all that other kind of fun stuff. And let's not kind of be ignorant here. Of course, even with the FDA approval, there are stuff that has side effects across the board. So I'm not saying otherwise. So I don't ever want to imply that the wrong way. But it still boils down to this date that it should be a personal decision that you do what you think that is best for you. Seriously. You have to look at your circumstance. I mean, let's be realistic. If you're locked up all the time, don't do anything, you get groceries delivered to your house and all that other kind of fun stuff, well, you might need to take in the equation. And then, of course, you have to put in the other pillars of what you believe about the whole thing and what you believe the science says. Because that's the thing. You have to catch people where they're at. Really do. I know it's hard. It's hard to do sometimes where people are like, no, you have to see it from my point of view, and that is it. And that's not the case. Seriously, that is not the case. You have to meet people where they're at, just the kind of way that it works. Anyways, let's continue talking. Scientists have discovered a new frog species in the equator and named it after a British rock band. According to The Guardian, the Fomantis Led Zeppelin, which translates to Led Zeppelin rain frog, was found in the Andes Mountains last year. The two researchers who made the find told the Neotropical Bioversity journal that the name honors Led Zeppelin and their extraordinary music. Well, I guess that's one way to help promote Led Zeppelin at this particular point. A little bit behind the game there, but hey, I guess whatever works.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, a Spanish man has been sentenced to 15 years in prison after killing and eating his 68-year-old mother. Alberto Sanchez Gomez was arrested after officers found body parts in the fridge and the drawers around his home. Maria Soledad Gomez, heads, hands, and heart were found on her bed, while the rest of her body was cut into 1,000 pieces, officers said. In the court, 28-year-old Gomez claimed that he suffered a psychotic episode and heard hidden messages on TV telling him to kill his mother. According to the authorities, Gomez had a history of violence against his mother. I don't even know what to say. Seriously. Like, where do these things come from? Like, okay, hold on. So your TV was telling you something? Like, seriously, this is a conversation that we're having on this thing. You know, when I start talking about some of these things and you're there with me, what do you think about this? I would really love to hear your opinion, especially on something like this. Especially when we get some of our newscasters, especially our news writers, start talking about this. Why doesn't anyone ever hear messages to work safety work safety from their TV? That's a good question. That is a fantastic question, I might add. It's an interesting one on how these things come about. And man, this is not a Friday circumstance to be talking about. But think about this. At what point do you start listening to messaging from the boob tube telling you exactly what you should be doing and kill your mother? I mean, I don't even know what to say here.
Oops. What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Prosecutors in the Derek Chauvin murder case filed a memorandum this week asking for the court to deny the defense motion for a new trial. The state wrote that Derek's attorneys claim that his client should have been tried elsewhere are irrelevant because the murder was highly publicized. Derek was convicted of George Floyd's murder in April. His sentencing is scheduled for June the 25th, so essentially next week. So what do you think here? Because we talked about this previously, that we kind of knew that the court of public opinion was going to play a big factor into this because of the publicizing of the whole thing. So do you think the man deserves another trial, or do you think that it's something that it's already been done, so we should be able to move forward? And so if he does deserve a different trial and he should be tried elsewhere, where does this elsewhere exist? Where people might have not heard about this? Just a question as we do move forward here on the Rated R Safety Show. Let's get our friend Johnny Smalls inside of here for him to tell you what's going on with the Market Beat.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Friday, June 18th, 2021. Equity markets tried to stabilize from the blow the Fed delivered on Wednesday. The FOMC left its policy unchanged, but raised its inflation targets for 2021 and forecast not one but 3 possible interest rate hikes by the end of 2023. This compares to a previous outlook of no interest rate hikes before 2023 and puts the market firmly on a trajectory towards tightening. The blue chip Dow Jones Industrial Average lagged in the session while tech names, including the FANG stocks, led the day. Shares of FANG stocks advanced 1% to 3%, with Google setting a new all-time high. With the market darlings back in the lead, it looks like the S&P 500 is about to move up to set a new all-time high. The question now is, where will the S&P 500 close out the week? Above or below the psychologically important short-term moving average? You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, so let me talk about this a little bit. On Thursday, the Nasdaq climbed 121 points while the Dow lost 210 points and the S&P fell 2 points. The Nasdaq Composite closed just shy of a record for the index. The dollar gained value in Wall Street Journal Dollar Index by more than 0.5% on Thursday. The dollar is seeing a strength in the Federal Reserve announced plans to raise interest rates sooner than anticipated. Gold prices dropped more than 2% during the session, and Nvidia, Amazon, and Tesla, among other technology stocks, pushed the Nasdaq higher on Thursday. Anyways, thanks to John Smalls for actually coming in here and jumping on and talking about what the hell was going on from his neck of the woods in regards of that stuff. Anyways, if you ever want to hear more about what John Smalls has going on, he has the John and Heidi Show on radiobig.fm. You're more than welcome to come out, take a listen to what he has going on, because I always think it's important. Anyways, I don't know. We haven't ever done one of these. Have I ever told you that we have someone that does a daily devotion? This is not a joke as I say this. And I'm almost, do you want to take this risk for a minute? For you can take a listen to this daily devotion? It's not a joke. This is not a joke. This is legit. So we are 23 minutes past the top of the hour. Take a listen to this one and tell me what you think about the 1 minute devotion here on a Friday. Not a joke. Seriously.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1 minute devotion. Ann Kimball Anderson, best-selling Christian author, battled depression for many years. She writes, "Something that has helped me in depression is to move beyond my pain and reach out to someone else." She goes on to say, "Depression can be so selfish, so crippling. Give your life away to others over and over and over, and the black, dark places will become lighter. Stubbornly refuse to let it block out the needs of others to encase you in a tunnel of self-doubt and greed." Philippians 2 says, "Don't look out only for your own interest, but take an interest in others too." Lord Jesus, help us to consider the needs of others before we consider our own. In your holy name we pray. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
Okay, so what do you think? The 1 minute devotion has just made its appearance on the Rated R Safety Show. So what do you think? I mean, it's different. It's definitely different. Figured that I would share that with you on this lovely Friday. Okay, a 1,098 carat diamond believed to be the third largest on the planet has been discovered in Botswana. The diamond was unearthed earlier this month by Jagway Mine of Botswana, a diamond company owned by both Botswana government and the De Beers Group. The mine, which opened back in 1982, typically produces about 12.5 million and 15 million carats of diamonds per year, according to them. The two largest diamonds are, a 3,106 carat stone found back in South Africa in 1905, and the 1,105 carat, which was discovered back in 2015 by the Lusakara Diamond Company. So there you go. Some things to think about if you were thinking about any of that stuff, or if it's important to you. Anyways, a new number of Americans are seeking new jobless claims rose last week. New filings reached about 412,000, up from the revised total of 375,000 claims per week prior. According to the Labor Department, the increase comes after 6 straight weeks of numbers declining. As the end of May, more than 14.8 million Americans remain on some kind of form of government assistance. And apparently I can't hit the microphone as I'm talking. Okay, so there you go. What do you think about this? What do you think as you're seeing this, and now more and more of the country is opening up? There's still a couple of states that are not fully open or open at all. They're still going, or few states that are still going through the full COVID restrictions based on where they're actually located. So what do you think when you hear that? It kind of makes it a little interesting swerve there. It's not a shoot, or it is a shoot. It's definitely not a work. Anyways, it's time to unmask kids. Here, listen to this one. Earlier this month, the CDC published data that January through April 2021 showing that children ages 5 through 11 were 4 times less likely to be hospitalized from COVID-19 than the usual flu. Instead of screaming the good news from the rooftops, the CDC held into over for about 2 months, while over a third of children were kept out of in-person schooling. A study published in the Journal of Hospital Pediatrics shows the pediatric COVID-19 hospitalizations were overcounted by at least 40% in 2 hospital systems. Also, COVID-19 cases in children have decreased by 86% since January 2020, with all 50 states reporting less than 10% positive test. It is time to follow the science and let the kids maskless without being contingent of receiving the vaccine through the EUA, according to the news report. So what do you think here when you hear this? Do you think it's time for the kids to go maskless? Do you think it's time for everything to move forward? Now, I will tell you that certain areas are doing this, that they're giving the child and parents, of course, the option of wearing the mask as they return to school. So as you hear this, what comes to mind? What do you think about? Do you think that this is the way to go about doing this? Or do you say, let's move forward and have them still mask? Of course, it's always kind of some of those things that we're talking about because it's what we talk about all the time. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things. And let's continue talking about this birth, because apparently this is what we're going to talk about for the next month or so at this point. A South African woman who has allegedly gave birth to 10 babies is hitting back the claims that the whole thing is a hoax. The father of the babies said earlier this week that he had not met the babies or seen his wife since she gave birth earlier this month. His family has since told multiple outlets that there's no desuplets, and they will not believe that they are until proven otherwise. They also apologize for any inconvenience and embarrassment. In response, the mother said that she is hiding out because her boyfriend's family is bitter and she doesn't want them using the birth for financial gain. Relatives of Sithole are adamant that she gave birth to 10 babies, 3 girls and 7 boys. I don't know. It's a kind of a weird news story, and I don't even know why we continue to talk about it. It's kind of one of those strange things that we continue to talk about, but apparently it's something that we are. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things. You remember Frank Bonner from a very popular TV show that was a radio station, quote unquote, on the TV show, known as WKRP in Cincinnati. The actor known for playing Herb Tarlett on the sitcom passed away on Wednesday as a result of complications of Lewy body dementia. Our thoughts are with the family during this difficult time. I can't imagine how this is going on right now. Anyways, we'll come back right after this and talk about some more things that are going on inside of this side of the lovely section of the planet. Hold on right there.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Dear John, I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is serious, and I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to when you checked on me? I don't want to leave, but remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart and don't let it quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range today. For help keeping yours at a healthy range, text PRESSURE to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. Take one.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to sell all your belongings and live in a commune.
These dungarees belong to all of us now, Tom.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman!
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
So for years, I have been telling you how I sleep so miserably at night, but that has all changed as of recent, and let me tell you why. Let me tell you about my friends at Helix Sleep. Helix Sleep has a sleep quiz that takes just about 2 minutes to complete and matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Why should you buy a mattress made for someone else? With Helix, you're getting a mattress that you will know will be perfect for the way you sleep. Everybody is unique, and Helix knows that. So they have several different mattress models to choose from. They have a soft, medium, and firm mattress. Mattress is great for cooling you down if you sleep hot. And even at Helix Plus mattresses for plus-size sleepers. I took the Helix quiz, and I was matched with the Helix Midnight Luxe mattress because I wanted something that felt soft. And I sleep on my side. It was such a different approach and exactly on how I was able to sleep. I love it. It's a huge upgrade from what I had before, that's for sure. The kids love it, even though they shouldn't be jumping on my bed, but that's a whole other story. And my wife loves it, which is important. So if you're looking for a mattress, you just take the quiz. You order the mattress, and you're matched to it. And the mattress comes right to your door, shipped for free. You don't even need to go to the mattress store again. Helix is awesome, but you don't need my word for it. Helix was awarded the #1 overall mattress pick of 2020 by GQ and Wired magazine. Just go to helixsleep.com/safety. That's helixsleep.com/safety. There, take the 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you up with a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. They have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try the mattress for 100 nights, risk-free. They'll even pick it up if you don't love it, but you will. Helix is offering up to $200 off of all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/safety. That's helixsleep.com/safety for up to $200 off and 2 free pillows. Don't forget to tell them that Jay Allen sent you.
Even less when they go deep. In almost every situation,
Hey now. Okay, 35 minutes past the top of the hour. This is Naked, and apparently not the clean version either. Meaning not the clean version of Naked. The song. Not that the guy's not... whatever. So there you go. That's Naked par Hackstrom. This song's readily available on Spotify and iTunes. So you can go ahead and give that a download if you'd like. Thanks for Park Rothrams for allowing us to play this on the Rated R Safety Show. Wow, he was naked then and he's naked now. Wow, what a song. Maybe we'll play this one in full at the end. Maybe we'll do it that way. Anyways, let's get back to what we have going on here this morning, and so fantastic talking about everything. So before we start getting too far away from what I think that's important on Friday, let's get into some other things. Yeah, that was setting you up of what's going to come next. So it's Friday. Normally when I tell people before we get into the weekend, it's time to kind of release all that pent-up anger that you might have had throughout the week, all that kind of rough stuff that you had going on. So what I normally do is on Fridays, I will show you a 30-second countdown on the streamer. We'll talk about it on the video or on the actual radio station as well. So we'll give you 30 seconds to scream and shout and let it all out. I always tell people, if you have other people around you, I don't know, you're going to pull it off, but they might think you're a little cray-cray, and that's okay. But that's what I want to do, give you that 30 seconds to let it all out. Now, this kind of worked well before when we used to do a noon show. But it has become a little bit more difficult to scream and shout, especially if you're still at home at this time in the morning. So that'll be the interesting part. So here you go. In probably about 3 seconds or so, I'll do the countdown, and that way we can get that clock started, and you can get moving and grooving. So let's do that in 3, 2, and 1. Okay, and that will be time. So hopefully you're able to get everything out and about, and you're able to groove and move, and you're looking forward to what this weekend is going to look like, and you don't have any pent-up frustration or anything along those lines, because if not, things could get worse, and then you might need to call someone that you didn't choose to call from the very beginning, but you needed to. And this person might sound something like this.
Insurance companies, giant hospitals, and big business don't fear going to court unless they're facing me. The courtroom is where I made my name, Jeffrey Feiger. It's where I make winning the only option. It's in my DNA. Feiger Law. I was born for this. I was born for this.
Okay, so if you need an excellent attorney, there you go. Feiger Law is there for you, just so you know, and they're available at 1-800-A-WINNER. That's 1-800-A-WINNER. That's Jeffrey Feiger with Feiger Law, just in case. Anyways, it is 38 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's get into some other news. Matter of fact, before I do, let's kind of backtrack for just one brief moment. So, as you know, we kind of mess around every morning and we do the things that we do. And sometimes it's easier to, just kind of go with what's normal and kind of what's run around and just do the simple things. But sometimes we have to take a moment and look at what is going on. And we have to talk about, let's be real. Over the last 20 months or so, it's been very difficult for a lot of people with the things that are going on inside of the world. Life has changed significantly over the last little bit. You went through a period, or a good chunk of people went through a period of time where they weren't sure what was going to happen next. Some people are still going through that. So at this point, I want to talk to you about this, and I want you to understand how important this is. I want you to know that you're not alone. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, know that you're not alone. These times have been so difficult and so easily to be depressed during these times. I want you to hear about experiences from people in your local communities whose lives have been impacted by suicide and depression. I want you to know about my friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. I want to let you know this too. We talk about this all the time. This has never been a paid ad. This has never been a sponsored ad. This has never been something that they have asked me to do. I think that this subject is so important that we need to talk about it day in and day out. Listen, there's resources that are out there. There's information. But what has happened over the last years, we have put shame associated to this conversation piece. And what I would like for us to be able to do is change that conversation. Be able to talk about struggles and hard times. It's not something that it's easy to talk about, because I'd be lying to you if I said that it was. But it's something that should be spoken about all the time. So, if you are struggling with this, go to AFSP.org. That's AFSP.org. Or call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255. Or text the word TALK to 741-741. Listen, we all go through struggles. We all have had hard times in one way, shape, or form. Don't let the shame that some people have tried to associate to this kind of push you back from going out there. Even if you just go to the website to learn information where you might be able to assist others, will be something that will help you way down the road. Wanted to bring this up this morning because I find it so important to talk about. And I know that we spend time talking about this, but I never want this to be like, oh, it's just an ending thing to talk about. We're not towards the end of the show. We're not towards the end of the conversation. But struggles are real. Depression is real. People debating about committing suicide is real. And it should be an ongoing conversation, not sometimes, but all of the time. So please give some consideration going to their website, giving them a call, or even texting to them to gather more information. Can make a difference not only in your life, but can also make a difference in the life of others. Seriously, think about that for a moment.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
So I interrupt this very important show to discuss this important matter with you. And here's what I want to share. You know that for years I have been telling you on this show that I don't sleep too great. Well, over the last few months, I've actually acquired a Helix sleep mattress. And it has changed the way that I sleep entirely. Listen, I have to tell you, for years I have struggled day in and day out, or night in and night out, on how I sleep. But ever since I went to Helix Sleep and took the sleep quiz, it has changed my way of sleeping. All you need to do to be able to encounter this luxury in your home, just go to helixsleep.com/safety. That's helixsleep.com/safety. Take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you with a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. Helix Sleep is offering up to $200 off of all orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/safety. That's helixsleep.com/safety for up to $200 off and 2 free pillows.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's get into some other things. It is 45 minutes past the top of the hour. Are you hungry all the time? No, seriously, this is a serious question. Are you hungry all the time? Scientists say that it could be all in your blood. Hold on. Didn't we just learn something about exercising yesterday, that it could be in your blood? Well, anyways, researchers are working on the largest in-depth nutrition study in the world that they have found some of us experience big dips in blood sugar levels after eating, which makes us hungrier sooner. In their study, they carried out test subjects in London and Boston, and they found that the huge variability in how people respond to food. People who experience bigger dips, blood sugar consumed their next meal 30 minutes before those of the little dippers. Yeah, that's what I said. On average, what else did we see? They also consumed more calories at their next meal. Those big dippers were also found to consume the average of 300 more calories per day. I'm a big dipper. Chips, fries, pizza, mozzarella sticks, cookies, chicken, and I dip them all. No, I'm just joking as I say that. But it does sound interesting to dip all that stuff. Anyways, as if rising sea levels, drought, and more extreme weather events aren't enough, climate change will also bring us longer mosquito seasons. This is not a joke. That's the conclusion of scientists at the University of Florida. Hold on. Florida, who found that the pesky insects adapt to changes in temperatures quickly rather than previously believed. That means that the region's poised to experience newly tropical temperatures in warmer world. Mosquitoes could become a year-round nuisance. Oh, fun. In places that won't heat up quite so much. The bugs may be able to reduce the amount of time and they spend dormant due to chilly condition, leaving us fending off mosquitoes much longer each year than they were used to. Well, that just bloody sucks, if you really think about it. Anyways, let's talk about some news of the weird, because it is that time already. After two women found that they've been dating the same man for 8 months, they decided to team up to get him. Kristen Bishop received a voicemail in March from a stranger telling her that they were both dating the same man. Kristen didn't believe until Sophie FaceTimed her from Adam's apartment. Together, they dreamt up the perfect revenge using a holiday turkey that Kristen and Adam had planned. It wasn't until they landed into the Turkish soil that Sophie suddenly turned up to surprise him, and the two women ditched their shared boyfriend and enjoyed a phenomenal holiday in Istanbul without him. Tell me more, please. It looks like the ultimate, It looks like the ultimate slip and sliding away into limbo. Production of the upcoming NBC Universal reality series has been indefinitely suspended after an outbreak of explosive diarrhea was reported on the set. This is not a joke. Ultimate Slip and Slide features teams and contestants competing in challenges and water parks. Productions was paused when the studio was made aware that the crew members had tested positive for Giardia, a microscopic parasite that can be caused by diarrheal disease if swallowed. It has been reported that as many as 40 of the crew members were ultimately affected, leaving the collapsing on the set due to the awful explosive diarrhea, being forced to run into porta potties as a result of the ultimate slip and slide. Well, now Fi decided to complete the final weeks of production. At the very least, they better get new porta potties. I hope they had quite a few, because that makes it quite interesting. But holy monkeys. Explosive diarrhea. Wow, talk about a workplace catastrophe.
Oops. What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, so here you go. Did you ever eat watermelon seeds or just throw them away? Well, it turns out that watermelon seeds are a powerhouse of nutrition. 1 cup delivered more than 30 grams of protein and just 16 grams of carb. It also produces large doses of magnesium, potassium, zinc, B-complex vitamin. Besides just swallowing them along with your watermelon slices, you can enjoy them roasted, sprouted, as well as an afternoon snack, tossed into your salad, or sprinkle them all over your oatmeal or chai pudding. Chai pudding. Rinse and spread some seeds and spread it on cookie sheets. There you go. And then let them dry and roast them inside of the oven. The crispy snack suppresses appetite, and its magnesium content is good for your heart. So there you go. If you need to do something healthy, get yourself a hold of a watermelon. I wouldn't say, dip it into vodka for it to absorb it. I'm just saying in general. And then go ahead and enjoy yourself with whatever the hell you want to do next inside of that. Just a thought.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so here you go. Did you hear about Juneteenth is now a federal holiday? The day commemorates the end of slavery in the United States and becomes the first new federal holiday since Martin Luther King Day was actually issued back in 1983. A bill marking the holiday passed the Senate unanimously and the House by a wide margin earlier in the week. President Joe Biden signed it into law yesterday. So there you go. We're in the swamp. Bear with me. Speaker Nancy Pelosi really doesn't want to talk about abortion. The self-styled Catholic was asked about unborn babies as a human being at 15 weeks in the context of a Mississippi bill before the Supreme Court that bans abortions after 15 weeks. In a response, she said, "Let me just say that I am going to be a big supporter of Roe v. Wade. I am a mother of 5 children in 6 years. I think I have some standing on this issue as respecting to women's rights to choose." Note her standing came from a Catholic church. Pelosi ignored the follow-up question from the reporter and moved on. So there you go. We went into the swamp today, and then we came out. Look at that. No winner for Tuesday night's Make a Million drawing. Tonight's drawing for the lottery will be for $30 million jackpot or a $20.7 million cash payout. No winner for Wednesday night's Powerball drawing. Saturday's drawing will be for $52 million jackpot or a $36.6 million cash payout. So if you're playing the game, good luck, because you're probably going to need it. Anyways, let's continue talking a little bit more about some other things that are going on inside of this lovely world of ours. If you're interested in listening to some new music today, let me tell you what's been released. Her, Back on My Mind, King of Convenience, Peace or Love, Max Bloom, Pedestrian, and Mika Blanco, Broken Hearts and Beauty Shops. Well, there you go. What a combo. Anyways, Trevor Noah is taking a summer hiatus from The Daily Show. His break begins today and will be returning to the show on September the 13th. Wow, that's a big hiatus. The move comes after Noah said that he has a few surprises in store, and he and his team will return into the studio when they do return. So there you go. If you do watch that show, there you go. Some interesting things coming about. Anyways, Aaron Rodgers is still trying to find a way out of Green Bay. NFL insider Jay Glazer revealed that on the Pat McAfee show that Rodgers still wants out. When asked if there were teams interested in Rodgers, Glazer said that the Denver Broncos, even Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater, have shown interest. Rodgers' rift with team exploded after the 2020 NFC Championship. Last week, Packers CEO Mark Murphy said that called him a complicated fella. Because, that's going to get everything moving. Let me just tell you real quick, you're a complicated fella. Anyways, let's talk about this real quick. According to a new study from Wallet Hub, these are the top 20 most fun states in America. Where does it go? So let's take it from the bottom to the top. Number 20, Hawaii. 19, Michigan. 18, North Carolina. 17, Maryland. 16, Arizona. 15, Wisconsin. 14, Missouri. 13, Ohio. 12, Louisiana. 11, Oregon. 10, Pennsylvania. 9, Minnesota. 8, Texas. 7, Washington. 6, Colorado. 7, Illinois. 4, New York. Ready for this? Number 3, Nevada. Number 2, Florida. And at the number 1 spot of the most fun states in America, ranking in at number 1, California. In order to determine which states are most fun, Wallet Hub looked into multiple metrics, including the greatest variety of entertainment option to movie costs, to accessibility of national parks, to casinos, per capita. So that is what it's based off of. So there you go. Do you live in one of the most popular fun states? Well, good for you if you do. Anyways, let's continue talking real quick. Takeoff the rapper's birthday is today. He turns 27. George Fowler turns 29. Jack Barracat turns 33. OT Genesis turns 34. Richard Madden turns 35. Scooter Braun, 40. Blake Shelton, 45. Isabella Rossellini, 69. And topping it off, Paul McCartney at 78 years of age. So there you go. Some birthdays to celebrate today. If you want to talk about some of the things that happened back on this date, let's talk about this. Back in 2018, President Donald Trump orders the U.S. military to set up the sixth branch, a Space Force. Its mission is to organize, train, and equip forces in order to protect the U.S. and allied interests in space and provide space capabilities to the joint force. Its responsibility include developing military space professionals, acquiring military space systems, maturing the military doctrine for space power, and organizing space forces to present the combat and commands. So there you go. That happened all back in 2018. Just in case if you're curious to know. Anyways, it is 56 minutes past the top of the hour. At the top of the hour, I will be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out. So let's get you towards the end of this thing. I guess I ran a little bit longer than I expected. Anyways, let me give you some whack facts before we get you into the weekend, because I think that these are always kind of an interesting one. Squirrels can climb trees faster than they can run on the ground. Electronic dance music has been shown to ward off mosquitoes. People wonder why I listen all the time. A kangaroo pouch has muscles that contract to secure a joey when mom runs and jumps. Cats cannot taste sweet things due to genetic defects. Dragonflies have 6 legs but can't walk. The oldest grown goldfish lived 41 years and it was named Fred. Hi, Fred. Good for you. Okay, so let's continue talking a little bit, and let me tell you about a couple of other things real quick. If you need a random joke for today, try this one. If you ever want to torture my dad, tie him up, then right in front of him, refold a map incorrectly. Yeah, that was for those pre-GPS days. If you need a phone starter for a day, try this one. What dadism did you hear while growing up over and over and over and over? What is the best piece of advice you ever got from your dear old dad? If you need a conversation for the water cooler, why don't you try this? According to research, men consume 82% of this. What is it? Potato chips. Not a joke. Anyway, so there you go. That's what we have for you today. If you want to come and hang out with me, I will be going over to radiobig.fm. So come over, hang out. We'll take a listen to some music, going through that whole hoopla of stuff if you're so inclined to do so. If you don't want to do that, totally understand. You can still continue to hang out here on safetyfm.com and take a listen to the different radio shows that we have available. Or you can download our app and stream it all the time. If you hang out on our Twitch channel, well, we'll be dropping over to Brittany Ellen directly after this. Just letting you know, if you want to take a look at what she has going on. So there you go inside of there. That's going on, of course, this morning. Anyways, outside of that, hope you enjoy your Father's Day weekend. You've been listening to the Rated R Safety Show exclusively on radiobig.fm and safetyfm.com. Safety FM is the home of real safety talk. We couldn't do what we do here on the station without you, the most important part of Safety FM. And that is the listener. If I can leave you with a thought for this weekend, this is what I would love to leave you with. It is now how much we have, but how much we enjoy that makes us happy. Some people think that they'll go to different places, different countries, different states, and that's where their happiness will come from. But happiness has to come from what you create. Think about that. I know who you are. You know who I am.
Duh.
Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.